Hey everybody, welcome to the round 7 tips. My tips. Don't have much to say about last week. Tip 5, no good. Just a real average round for a real average tipper. That's what I am. But more importantly, there are some bits and pieces of news which I'm excited to review here. Now the first one is we have a new leader, Jacob Kov, who tipped 7 last week. Tip 8 last week, and now finds himself on 41. Clear leader. Now, Corey Leonard, who had the top spot for a couple of weeks, he's slipped down to 5th. So, Corey, I'm going to back you in to respond this week. I know you're a good tipper, but well done to Jacob as we inch closer to the halfway point of the season. We're a third of the way at the end of this round, which is a little crazy, but it just flies quickly. We wait so long for footy season to come around, and then it comes, and then we're done. So just trying to enjoy it as much as possible. Now, this week, there's a few different bits and pieces, key players out for teams, health and safety protocols just rearing their head again. It's a very interesting week, and it's a very interesting round. But nonetheless, let's get straight into it and get through to the round 7 tips. It all starts tonight, Friday, the 29th of April. Richmond and the West Coast Eagles. I'm going to tip Richmond. I think it'll be a tough game, but I think they'll get the job done. They've lost 2 in a row. They're just battling. I think this is a great opportunity for them to bounce back, and I know the Eagles will be a side that if you give them a sniff, they'll win, especially when they're at home, and it can be very difficult to tip against them at Optus, but I will. I'm going to tip Richmond. Saturday, we've got quite a few games, so we'll start with Geelong and Fremantle. Geelong will win this game, I'm pretty sure. Fremantle have been really impressive. Got to take my hat off to them. They've been really impressive. Their defence is great. However, this game is at GMHBA. They lose Sean Darcy, Karma, and they lose Matt Taberner and Bailey Banfield. But Matt Taberner and Sean Darcy are out through injury. They are 2 of their key pillars. And it's a bit of a shame because I would like to see Freo at full strength. I think they can give the Cats a real run for their money. But nonetheless, I will tip Geelong at GMHBA Stadium. The next game is Adelaide and the Giants. Originally I did tip Adelaide, I'm not going to lie. However, Toby Green's back in the side, second week back. Jesse Hogan comes in. I'm going to give the Giants one more chance. I'm going to get sucked into the Giants one more time. And it's tough because Adelaide are a tough team. They play well, especially at home. They've got their kind of like their identity back, and I think Tex being in the side just helps them walk a little taller. So it was tough to tip against the Crows, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm giving the Giants one last chance. This is it. So I'm tipping the Giants. The next game is the Melbourne Footy Club up against the Hawks. The D's are missing a few, but I think I've said this 6 weeks or 7 weeks in a row. Until the D's give me a reason to not tip them, especially at the MCG, I will continue to tip them. So the D's, I'm going to really see what this system of theirs is like. A few key outs for them, but nonetheless, great team, great club. What can you say? Give them full respect. The Hawks are good. I really enjoy what the Hawks are doing. I think it's good for the league. I think a lot of people thought they would have dropped off by now or not even start the way that they did. So fair play to Hawthorn, but I do think the D's will win this game. Next up, it's the Saints and Port Adelaide. The Saints are flying. 5 in a row. 5 in a row is a big deal. I think 3 in a row is a little bit of a statement, but 5 in a row is a serious statement. To keep that form line going for over a month, full credit to them. I'm getting sucked into Port. You all know I have the softest spot for Port Adelaide, and it is what it is. I have a little bit of a bias towards them. I love them. I just love their club, love their people. I'm going to tip Port Adelaide. However, I think the Saints will beat the D's next week, but we'll get to that. Next up is the Blue Baggers and North Melbourne. Surely this is going to be a Carlton win. This is just, no disrespect to North, but Carlton need to win this game just to keep things going, keep things afloat. Get our 5th win of the season, and then we're almost halfway to 12 wins and then finals. So I'm tipping the Blues. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I'd love it to be a blowout, but I don't think it will be. I don't think Carlton quite know how to do that just yet. So I will tip the Blues. Then on Sunday, we've got the Pies and the Suns. I really want to tip the Suns. I do not have the guts to tip the Suns, so I will tip Collingwood at the MCG. Plenty of players that are still in there. I know they lose Grundy, and that's tough. That is really tough, and I've spoken about it earlier in the week. You know, such an innocuous knock, and you lose one of the best ruckmen of the last couple of years, or of this era, really. You lose him for, 3 months. You know, it's really sad that Mark Pittonet's not going to be playing. No, Grundy's good. Grundy's great. Grundy's out, though, and that's a shame. But I will tip the Pies to get it done. I think it'll be a close game. Next up is the Dogs and the Bombers. I'm going to tip the Western Bulldogs. I just have flashbacks of them kicking, what was it, like 19 or 21 straight goals a few years back, I should say. I'm not sure, but I just think the Dogs will get this job done. However, the Bombers, they're starting to just find a little something. I can see it. I can sense it. They played relatively well in the Anzac Day game and just fell short, but I think they'll start winning games over the next few weeks. Then we've got the final game of the round. I've changed this tip all week, and it might change again. It's the Swans and the Lions at the SCG. I tipped the Swans, then I realised, hang on a minute, what's Brisbane done wrong? They've given me no reason not to tip them. Sydney have been a little bit faulty in games at times against opposition, whereas the Lions have just been like rock solid all year. I know they've lost a game, but they've just been a really rock solid team, and I think they're going really well. So as it stands right now, tip the Swans. Papley's back as well. That's exciting. I like watching him play. But we will see. So as it stands right now, I'm sensing it's going to be the Sydney Swans. So those are my tips. Let me know. How'd you go last week? What are you tipping this week? And what are your general thoughts and musings of what's happening? What are some trends that are happening throughout this season that maybe I haven't mentioned, or maybe haven't been mentioned amongst the mainstream media and whatnot? I think the storylines are starting to emerge. I think the Saints winning 5 in a row hasn't really been covered enough. I think they're going really well. Even Freo, they're doing really well too. So let me know how you're feeling about this week and the league, and we'll go from there. Go Blues.